Yoda and Dooku were as close as a Jedi Master and their apprentice could be. Yoda had great faith and pride in his young Jedi Padawan, Dooku, who was turning out to be one of the premier members of the Jedi Order, a true hero, and a true knight of the light side of the Force. It was because of this that as Dooku progressed, and as his reputation as a Jedi Master grew, there were few Force abilities that Yoda would not hesitate to teach his pupil. Force abilities that obviously could be twisted, and used in terrifying, horrific methods, if the dark side were ever to corrupt them. Unfortunately, this would happen to Dooku. The politics of the Republic would drive him away from the Jedi Order, causing him to embrace a more dark, sinister path. Dooku in many senses died. Darth Tyrannus was born. Before this, though, Yoda believed that Dooku would in fact be the one to inherit the entire Jedi Order, inherit the Council itself, and become the next Grand Master. And it was because of this, and his great faith in Dooku, that Yoda felt compelled to teach his students all that he knew about the Force, even methods that could be turned and twisted into something evil, something so invasive, destroying one's mental state and all of their most private feelings, emotions, and thoughts. Today, we will be discussing the Force ability known as mind penetration, and why Yoda used it, as well as how obviously Dooku took this ability taught to him by the Grand Master, and used it to inflict pain and agony against the enemies of the darkness. Mind penetration was a technique typically used by Yoda. Yoda, however, only did it given permission by the Jedi who he used this ability on, often implementing the technique to calm a Jedi's nerves, quelling their anxiety or fears. Yoda would use this as a calming technique, a pure Jedi consular, and in order to assess the mental state of the Jedi that served under him. This is in large part how Yoda was able to so proficiently sense the emotions of the Jedi around him, and sense exactly when Jedi such as Obi-Wan Kenobi or Anakin Skywalker were distressed, offering whatever information he could, and even using the Force ability to quiet their own minds, recentering themselves within the Force itself. Yoda believed that this was an invaluable Force ability for a Jedi Grand Master, and believed that the primary role of a Jedi Grand Master, beyond simply leading the Jedi Council, was to counsel with the Jedi around them. In many ways, Yoda serving as their therapist, and using the Force ability, this Force ability particularly, as one of his greatest tools in doing so. Yoda could even use the Force ability to help Jedi unlock hidden power and knowledge within themselves, and break down mental barriers within his students. Yoda intended to use the ability for comfort, never for pain. When he taught the ability to Dooku, he had high hopes for his young apprentice, and Dooku in return would teach it to his own apprentice in Qui-Gon Jinn. When Dooku encountered Obi-Wan Kenobi on the planet of Geonosis, though, Dooku would implement a version of the ability that he had changed and corrupted, an ability taught to him by Yoda himself. The following comes from the novelization for Attack of the Clones. Specifically, when Dooku confronts Obi-Wan, Dooku's slow pace spoke of an underlying arrogance, and was in contrast to the brisk invasion of Obi-Wan's mind. Obi-Wan bit back a gasp and fled, attempting to set new mental barriers in his wake. Obi-Wan had had other Force wielders in his mind before: Qui-Gon, Anakin, even Master Yoda, but where their touches had been gentle, almost a caress, Dooku's was painful and humiliating. Against Obi-Wan, Dooku used a more advanced variation of mind penetration, a technique developed by the Sith known as Dun Mok. The Sith aimed to completely dominate an opponent's spirit through whatever means possible, by employing their own lightsaber combat doctrine. Dun Mok commonly involved spoken taunts, jeers, and jests that exposed the opponent's hidden inner weaknesses or doubts, which had the end result of eroding the opponent's will. Mental attacks would also be utilized during combat in order to strip one's concentration on the Force itself, making an opponent less precise and effective. Such a thing could be quite deadly, especially against Jedi, since the concentration was vital to the importance of using the Force. As such, Dun Mok embodied using the Force as a form of psychological warfare. Make him doubt himself, his beliefs, or his intentions. Such things disrupt connections to the Force, and death soon follows. This same ability would later become one of the favorites of Lord Vader himself, as he would use it as one of his key techniques against Jedi, breaking them mentally through fear, entering their very minds, filling them with terror. Dooku, however, used it in a different way against Obi-Wan, and would use it in a different way against Anakin as well. Dooku used it to prove his superiority. He did not want to fill them with terror or pain. This is not how Dooku operated. He wanted to humiliate them. He wanted to display just how out of their depths they really were when they faced the Count. While it was Vader's goal to kill, it was Dooku's job to submit, especially against an individual such as Kenobi, and even more importantly so against Anakin Skywalker, as in many sense, Anakin was the next Dooku, the next prize knight of the Order, and Dooku wanted to prove a point that he was still superior to the might of the Chosen One, and was still one of the most powerful Jedi that have ever existed. But that was the Force ability that Yoda regretted showing Dooku, and how he used it to devastating effect against Jedi like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. How he took the gentle touch of a Grand Master and turned it into a painful strike. But what are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts on the Sith ability of Dun Mok? Also, what are your thoughts on Dooku's usage of the power? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.